Welcome to the Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brock.
I think you might like the hat too, Tom. I don't know.
Oh yeah, look at
Nice.
that. That's pretty cool.
The Hartford steamed cheeseburgers. Hell
What is
yeah.
that hat? What is that hat?
It's a Hartford. What is it like? Single A baseball team.
Yep.
It's the Hartford Yard Goats, but for
Mhm.
like once a season, they turn into the Hartford steamed cheeseburgers. And I was
That's
just like,
amazing.
and I was just
Have you
like,
seen? You need that hat.
yeah.
I've got-
Have you seen the Savannah Bananas?
The Savannah Bananas
Yep.
are awesome.
minor league
My new
baseball has some
favorite
of the
team.
best stuff.
There's so many teams that do things like that. Like there's a few minor league hockey teams that do the same thing. They'll have like they change their name to the Lightsabers for the night, so they're in like Darth Vader outfits for the whole game. It's
Yeah,
strange.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's the one thing I love about minor league baseball is that they'll do anything to get people in
Oh
the
hell yeah!
in the
You have
stadium,
to.
and it's the
Mhm.
best.
Yep. The crazier the
work.
better too.
Like my kids like go and it was just one of the things that they like doing was when they go to the spinners, they know that they can run the bases after the game every time,
Mhm.
and it's like
Sure.
it's one of those things that they look forward to.
Right.
Hope they come back next year. They're trying.
I would think so.
Yeah, I've got my
Yeah, I was-
baseball Hall of Fame shirt going because it's induction. Well, it's not really induction weekend, but it would be. If it
Now
was
it's
on-
induction week day.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
I don't know why they picked a Wednesday, but whatever.
I don't know. I guess it keeps the crowd low.
Yeah, because I'm not going.
I don't know who is.
I was going to, but then I realized it was a Wednesday. I'm like, I'm not.
So many kids are back in school now. It's not like
Yeah.
you can take the week off anymore.
Well, I think that's what they were doing. I mean, they tried to keep it distant for the COVID situation, but
Sure.
then they opened it up to everybody. Decided to do it on a Wednesday because who can show up in the first real week of
Right.
school
Exactly.
on a Wednesday?
Yep. Mhm.
So it's like, oh yeah, we're getting rid of the COVID protocols. You still are gonna go.
Oh, right.
And we're live.
I like that. It's a good way to start that.
Well, if I hit a certain button, we can go live.
Look at
Oh.
that. Oh my.
Is that our Joey Janela reference for the dime?
There it is.
It's already started.
I was putting away some stuff earlier, and I found that I'm like, oh, that's going on the pod tonight.
You should somehow be in your background every week.
You should. I'm just going to invite him to my house. He'll probably come.
That's the thing. You probably would
He's
show
not
up.
on AEW TV.
Yeah, pretty soon he's not gonna have anything to do anyway, so why not?
Yeah. Well, GCW's in the area. I'll be down. Oh no, I didn't really mean it.
He
Guys,
just
do I
shows up at my house.
guys, do I
He
get
knows where
paid
you
for
live.
this?
You don't even tell him. Hey, what's up? How? I don't even want to know.
So I saw. Speaking of GCW, they recently had a show, and
Last night.
Nick Gage lost again.
Yep.
Does he usually lose, or like
Not often.
it's like a,
It's not very
like a new
often,
thing?
but I think a lot of it too is just like the it's going to be like the rise to get back up to Cardona,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's the only person that I think that can beat him. You know what I mean? They pretty much did the same storyline, I think 2 years ago with Ricky Shane Page, where it was kind of like the same thing. And he had the belt and
Yeah.
Gage was chasing him, and Page just kind of threw everybody at him. So it's kind of like
And that's what's happening again
right.
because his group is feuding with Gage's group now.
Yeah.
So it seems like he's going to have to go through all those guys before Cardona will fight him again. So I guess Cardona's got a bunch of mystery opponents scheduled, like guys he's handpicking to bring in, from what I've been hearing lately.
So Smart Mark Sterling, Brian Myers, Hornswoggle.
Probably.
Smart Mark Sterling, I found out today. I know so many people who know him who are legit
Mark
friends with him.
Malibu.
My buddy Spencer was just telling me today he's buddies with him. One of my best friends, his wife is buddies with this guy. I know way too many people who know him, and yet the world doesn't yet.
Yep.
I need to see Hornswoggle in a death match.
It'll probably happen at some point.
That would be amazing. Because the WLC was amazing.
WLC was incredible.
Watch GCW bring in El Torito to fight him. I wouldn't be shocked.
That would be awesome.
Bring the feud back. Who won the feud? I don't even know if it really ended, and it just kind of
Fans
stopped.
did, Brian. The fans.
Also true.
The matches weren't horrible,
No.
except when Vince would bring out the little step stool and the little mini steel chair, and it's like, all right, come on.
Remember,
It's fun to a point.
The one thing I remember about that WLC match is at one point Drew McIntyre just does a somersault over the top rope through a table, and like nobody's even close to being around.
Yeah.
So he was just like, all right, screw it, let's do this. Like there was nobody even at ringside. Like nobody moved off the table. Like nothing. There was just no. He was like, I'm flipping through this thing.
I have to rewatch it now.
Yeah, really.
It was awesome. Was that 2014? That was 7 years ago.
Yeah,
Damn.
seems about right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So talking about things that I either didn't know or forgot.
Mathematics.
Mathematics. John Cena was in Ready to Rumble.
For like 5 seconds, maybe.
I don't
Really?
recall that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
I don't either.
he was like a gym rat apparently. Or whatever.
He was in the background when they were at
Okay.
the what was it, the Sal Mandini, right? I think. I know you can't, once you like realize it's Cena, you can't miss him.
Sure.
Right.
Another thing
Yeah,
I have to check out.
I was look,
He
yeah,
was-
I was
Because he was doing like the prototype gimmick, so he's got the
Oh,
weird
okay. Yeah.
blonde like Tyson Kidd haircut thing
Mhm.
that he had going on for a bit. And he's like tan as hell, like
Yeah.
just
He does.
absurdly tan.
Mm-hmm. And he had the tights on and everything.
Yeah.
That was weird. I saw him at a Providence house show as the prototype, and I'm like, "Who is this? This is the guy's garbage." It was awful.
Who's he?
Now
ever
look
gonna-
what he
He
became.
ain't gonna amount to anything.
I think he lost in about 2 minutes to like Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy in the first match. It went
Hey.
under 3 minutes. It was like that, and it was
The
over.
NXT champion did too. So
I was gonna say kill it, and I have a chance.
That was Ohio Valley at that point. I think Batista was on the night after as his gimmick there.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
Yep. They called them basically both up at the same time. I didn't see him though. I think he seen it work because they could say he was from Boston, Massachusetts. I think that's why
Right.
they did that in Providence.
They called up everybody. Like that was that whole
That whole-
Cena, Orton, Lesnar, Batista. Like
Yeah.
they just brought everybody up, and I kind of feel like that's about to happen again in 2 weeks or whatever. On
They're either bringing them up or they're releasing them.
I guess that's where we can start.
yeah,
Brought
see
it
that
up.
segue.
Started it up.
The new version of NXT. What are our ideas on that?
I mean, it looks like it's already just from that crop, or what was it, the 6 or 7 people that they just said that they were starting at the Performance Center.
Yep.
I mean, all those guys are 6'2", right? I think I was reading the Usos' brother there is like 6'2", 6'3", 280.
Yep. He's the only guy with wrestling experience that was in that little group that they just brought in.
They're building clones.
Mm-hmm.
They're building clones. CM Punk touched on this the other day. He was on a podcast, and he touched on the fact that one of the things that attracted him to AEW was the fact that there's different personalities, there's different styles. Everyone's allowed to bring a part of themselves to it. And you look at the WWE, and it's the same thing over and over again. We've talked about this for weeks now. It's the same matches over and over again with little payoff, little build, and little storytelling involved. Until you get to a couple of good pay-per-view matches, there's no storytelling involved. Now they're going to be doing this with NXT, where you basically have 6'2", 6'3", 250 to 280, same look, same build, teach them the same. They're not professional wrestlers except for the Usos kid, or the Usos brother, but they're all from all walks of life of athletics, former football players, lacrosse players, baseball players. These are guys that you can mold and turn into what you want, so you can build them how you want to build them. It's going to be carbon copy after carbon copy after carbon copy, which is going to make what is already become a very bland product, in my opinion, even more bland.
Right.
Yeah, they need to, whether this would help or not, I feel like they need to return to some gimmicks. And instead of being, Jeff Guy and Jane Girl, and just like, or they're, just start giving people gimmicks. Maybe in the NXT they can kind of do that a little more. I don't know, but like, I feel like if they want to have these people come in and be carbon copies of each other, that's obviously not going to work. But I also feel the first couple weeks of this new NXT is going to be really good. For some reason, I feel like it's going to be really good, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, okay, this is like ECW One Night Stand. This is awesome." And then we'll maybe get the like hit in the face around Christmas time, where NXT falls apart. But I feel like the first couple weeks are going to be pretty good.
I'm not sure. I don't know what to expect yet, because Vince and Bruce Pritchard are going to be basically in charge, but they're not going to be there. But I guess everything is going to have to be approved through them now. So all the matches and all the storylines and all that stuff, because they don't know any of the guys, like really know them, it might take a few weeks or a month or two to actually start to see them shut it down more than they are now. Like they may just kind of let most stuff go through for a few weeks until they see everybody. But
gradual
before too long, you're going to see, Vince ripped up the script a half an hour before the show. He hated it. Right now, he might not, because he only knows a few of the guys that are working there. I mean, if they start bringing all these guys in that, as you said, they should give them new gimmicks. That'd be the only way to differentiate them. If it's Joe Blow and Jim Blow, who really cares about them? I mean, in 6 months, it's the same guy. Who cares? The one thing they don't have is they don't have an indie name out there. So it's not going to be too hard to convince them to give them a new name. It's the only thing that they could have going on that realm of it.
Do you think that in any way the focus that is put on NXT by Pritchard and Vince will help SmackDown and Raw in any way? Because there's 24 hours in a day, and Vince is up for all those 24 hours. But if he's doing anything with NXT, maybe the writers that they have for Raw that are writing things that could possibly be good might finally start slipping through the cracks.
If this past Monday is any indication of that, no. And I think NXT is going to be one of those things where it's a quick Zoom call with Vince. This is what we have. I don't like it. All right, we'll call you back in a minute.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like, could you imagine, like, you hear stories about people at TV waiting for Vince for like 6 hours, 7 hours. Can you imagine him not even being there on an NXT day and like, we got to call Vince? It's like, you know what I mean? Like he'll call like right before they go live. You know what I mean? It just,
it's going to happen for sure.
Because I feel like as much as that wishful thinking, like that Russ has, that hopefully Raw will get better. I think it's exactly the opposite. They're just going to focus on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT is just going to be a complete afterthought.
I think there's 20 plus years ago, when we actually had a wrestling war, they cared because it was their livelihood. They didn't have billions of dollars coming in from these TV deals and Peacock and all this other stuff. They had to make the product better. There isn't a Stone Cold walking through that door. I'm going to sound, you know what? Here's a familiar New England deal. Stone Cold Steve Austin is not going to walk through that door. The Rock isn't. Well, he might actually walk through that door. And if they do, they're going to be old and gray. But seriously, we don't have what we had 20 plus years ago. What you have is a complacency. You have billions of dollars coming in on these TV deals and Peacock, so you don't have to care about the ratings. You really don't. You can toss Sheamus against, Humberto Del Rio 50 times a week. You can toss whatever crap. You bring Nia Jax back out there, that disgusting mess, to hurt somebody and forget that it's a work halfway through a match. Bring her back out there. We'll get into that one later. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore because they've got their money. They are solidified. They are setting up to be sold, most likely gonna be sold. Rumors are all over the place about Disney. They don't care anymore. They just don't. And you know what they really don't care about? All of us. Not talking about just the four of us. I'm talking about all of us. They do not care about the
included.
fans. 100% included. They do not care about any of us. They think we're stupid. They think we're completely ignorant and think we're just going to watch the program all the time. And I think a lot of people still do because it's old habit.
Yep.
It's muscle memory. It's 20 plus years of muscle memory. But there's these other promotions that are taking off that I'm getting you to realize, like, wow, there's actually some good stuff going on. There's some good matches going on. Maybe this is my new thing every week. I don't think people realize that, WWE, yeah, great. They if it wasn't for Vince and it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be sitting here talking. That's great and all, but
Sure.
I've said this before, every big dynasty, every big empire dies at some point.
It does. I mean, they've been running so high for so long. Eventually, it's not going to be that way.
And why would they try to change? They're getting paid regardless.
Oh,
The money's
sure, yeah.
coming in regardless. That
You watch
Peacock
that
deal is
Mhm.
signed, sealed, and delivered. The Saudis are handing them over millions and millions and millions of dollars to have Goldberg come out like an asshole and try to wrestle. They don't care. They're getting paid. They're fine. They're completely fine.
Yeah, Nick Khan said that in that interview a couple of weeks ago. What's the bottom line for him is how much money can they make? If he can make SmackDown 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then they made $1 billion off of it, he'd be all for it. They don't care what they're putting out there at the moment. The money is what matters right now, and you can tell that. I mean, Look at Raw all the time. It's hardly watchable.
Yeah.
I can't listen to that guy talk. He says everything but nothing at the same time. His answers are just so empty.
Mhm.
I didn't know he was their agent before he was their president.
Yep.
Like he was that's insane to me. So, and that's, I mean, as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, everything makes sense. You know what I mean? Like he's just worried about the bottom line.
Yep.
Like he's just worried about how much money he can make. You know what I mean? He's an agent that notoriously pretty scummy people from,
for sure.
you know what I mean? And it's like you just gave this dude the keys to the kingdom.
Oh, we've never seen that before. Just gives some guy the keys to the kingdom. Hi, Craig. Oh, quick, shut it off.
That's if he actually watches, which I don't think so.
He's never seen it.
But it's like that interview again with Nick Khan there when he was talking about all the release guys. He basically said, well, if we don't want you, why would we keep you? You're just going to get rid of you. I mean, if you're making too much money and you're hurting our bottom line, then you're going to have to go. No emotions at all in that. He could care less. Didn't matter who it was. Could be his brother. If his brother was making too much, he'd cut him. You could tell. He would.
And it's sad because they've been it's been our whole lives. The WWE, WWF, Vince McMahon, it's been our entire lives. I said this last week. This is where we all wanted to go. This is what we all wanted to do. But what they're doing, what they are creating is not even their own product. What they're creating is these other promotions. AEW, Impact's getting far better. NWA is actually getting entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
They're creating these other products where wrestling is now the focal point. Why I love AEW is because the matches are actually the focal point. There's not a lot of stupid stories and ridiculousness. They start off Wednesday with a great tag team match that told an incredible story that was incredible back and forth. I can't tell you a Monday or Friday night where I've turned on Raw or SmackDown and said, oh, I'm so glad I turned on the TV for this. Usually I'm mad at myself. I'm going to tell you that right now. I am literally pissed at myself that I'm on my couch watching Raw or SmackDown. Like, why am I watching this? Why am I doing this? There's got to be something else. There's got to be something better with my time. And you know what? There is now. There is something better. And it's sad because, like I said, it's our entire life. It's almost like watching a family member die of a very long disease. You know it's coming. You know it's happening. And you're watching them suffer through it. The sad thing is we're all suffering with them. It's painful. It's absolutely painful. Ugh.
Do they ever bounce back, though?
I hope so. God, I hope so. I seriously hope so. We wouldn't be here talking about wrestling if it wasn't for them. You really want to. But every time you cart freaking 500-pound Nia Jax out there to murder somebody, including your top star in the middle of a ring by actually punching her because she botched a freaking move like the animal. She really did.
Walloped her.
Nia made Becky Lynch the man.
Yeah, because she hurt her too. There's a line of women that she has injured.
Who hasn't she is probably the better question.
Just to see that unprofessionalism, it was so blatant. It wasn't just the fact that they were receipts. You'll see a receipt in a match and you'll stop for a second and be like, whoa, what? This was legit. Like, what the f are they doing? Yeah. They were legit staring each other down and swinging at each other. And first of all, Charlotte, I'm sorry. You're about maybe $125 at this point. You have no chance swinging at this behemoth. What are you doing?
Not only did Charlotte get heated, they both got heated, but maybe there was an ulterior motive to Charlotte being like, why should I care? And if it got heated enough, who's going to get fired? Charlotte's going to get fired.
She's got somewhere to go.
Charlotte can go, and she has somewhere to go.
Yep.
Which means they're not going to fire her.
Nope. Apparently nothing happened in the back. They both went back there. No one said a word to him or anything. Nothing.
Right.
Well, you don't bother her when she's at catering.
Wow.
The way I looked at it was just like, I thought Charlotte was Charlotte started taking liberties and Nia was just like, no. And then just Nia wasn't having it and just popped her. And I almost feel like Charlotte didn't feel like she was going to get in trouble. Like, so that's why, because she's always done that. There's been, numerous times where, Charlotte's gotten pissed off in a match and just slapped somebody, you know what I mean? So it's like, Nia is unsafe, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad that Nia just had no problem giving her the receipt and just popping her.
What it looked like to me was that choke slam power bomb that Nia did.
Yep.
She didn't protect Charlotte at all, and dropped her very awkwardly.
Her, yep.
And I think that's where it began. Charlotte, took exception to that, went to give her a receipt, and Nia, who for some reason has been in the business now for 6-7 years and is still, as green as can be. I don't think she understood. Oh, I almost hurt someone again.
That spine buster was pretty brutal too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I don't think she knows her own strength.
Doubtful.
I don't think she does. I don't think she understands that she's a 500-pound behemoth.
It doesn't work out much.
No. It sure as hell doesn't do cardio, that's for sure. Doesn't count her steps.
Nope, definitely not.
I don't understand how she can be the Rock's cousin when the Rock is all about getting up at 3 a.m. and working out, and she's all about waking up at 8 a.m, 9 a.m, and heading off to the frickin' Denny's.
Well, Denny's is open at that time, so I mean,
she's the hardest eater in the room.
Doesn't miss any meals, that's for sure.
Freaking hate Nia Jax. I'm not like most women. Sound like freaking Barney from The Simpsons with your big Tina Turner hair. You look like an Easter egg too with that outfit. You stink.
I want to see Nia Jax versus Goldberg.
Oh, I do too. Someone's gonna get hurt, guaranteed.
Let's hope they both do.
They probably will.
They just both break their neck somehow.
They're both so reckless
on the same move.
They start shooting on each other and they wind up both getting hurt. That's fine.
That
No
is
problem at all.
They both break their neck on an Irish whip.
That's a guaranteed death match. Goldberg, you hit me. But I'm not like most girls. No, you're not. You're like 5 of them put together.
holla holla.
Oh boy, where do we go from there? What do you guys think of the new NXT logo?
Terrible.
Happy Pride Month.
And we know who created it, Kevin Dunn, I guess, apparently, and no one got any say in it but him.
It's not the worst thing in the world because I have a thing with logos for some reason. Like when there's a new team and they have a name, but they have a good logo, then it's cool. But I mean, we have this Hartford steamed cheeseburgers in the house, and that's a great logo. But it's not the worst thing in the world. But I mean, it could have been different.
My thing was, I wish it was reversed. I wish there was the logo was a solid color, and put it on a tie-dye rainbow background. Go ahead, whatever. But just if a solid color would be nice. You know what I mean? I just that was my only. You know what I mean? Like you just like not so much like they always say Raw's the red brand or the blue brand or the black and gold brand. And like all this stuff, and it's just so what is it now? Like rainbow funfetti cake brand. You know what I mean? It's just like
so.
I don't know.
Let's look at it like this. The logo in wrestling speaks to what the product is. ECW, there was barbed wire all over it. You knew what you were getting.
Yep.
NXT's old logo, it was raw and almost like indie kind of look to it. So you knew what you were getting. Mm-hmm. The even the WWE logo changes based off of the era. Mm-hmm. This logo looks like what type of brand are we getting? I don't understand what we're going for here, but it kind of has that hippie, everybody love everybody kind of look to it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like a wrestling logo. Right. It sure doesn't look like a wrestling logo. A lot of dude love there.
Mm-hmm. Right. They go from like the logo they have now. It's got like a skull and some wings and bones everywhere, and it's then it's just fruitcake fancy pants logo. It's just like it's just weird.
It's kind of like WCW. The worse their logo got, the worse their product got.
Yeah.
Until they had that weird ass logo, that like strange like big giant W. Like I still don't know what they were going for with that, and that's like the worst it ever got.
Yeah.
Well, the
That was-
WWE also had their WCW logo. What if that was the NXT logo?
I don't remember
Would
that
that been better?
WCW logo.
The red one
The
with
red
the
one.
little
Oh.
spikes, yeah.
Okay.
Which was technically WCW's at the very, very end.
Oh, so they changed it right at the end?
A
Yeah.
little bit, yeah. I just like I know they're going was it a Nick Khan interview or maybe something else, but they were saying how they wanted to like lighten up.
Yep. It was
Like
the same
that.
Nick Khan interview.
Okay, so yeah,
Mhm.
so like you know what I mean, is that what it's leading to? Just like bright like what do they mean by brighten up? Is it just going to be, you know, just everything's white and but you know what I mean? Like
Well, I know
are they going to light it like a live not a live event, like a TV,
yep.
like live TV, or are they
Because
just
Kevin Dunn's in charge of it now, and he loves everything to be bright so you can see everything. He doesn't like the dark, grungy look for anything. So it's just going to look like a carbon copy of SmackDown and Raw every time now for NXT.
The dark grungy look is what set NXT apart because,
Mhm.
yeah, it was WWE, but when you watched it, it was like, it looked like an independent.
Right.
It looked like when you've got Nesson on at 1 PM and Ring of
Mhm.
Honor is on.
Yeah.
That's again why I like AEW. AEW's darker. It's pardon the pun, but it's raw. It's more raw
Mhm.
than anything else. It's refreshing, and that's why I liked NXT too, because it was refreshing. It was dark. There was a realism to it too. Their announcers, except for Beth Phoenix, their announcers have always been really good on NXT because there's a sense of realism to it.
Mhm.
I don't know what they're planning here, and I don't understand why one company just wants to destroy themselves.
I also like the dark aspect of NXT where it was they only lit like the first 2 rows. Like even though there was only maybe 4 or 5 rows anyway, but it just it made it look like the arena was bigger, and it also made it look like like because the crowd was always noisy,
Yeah.
so that like the noise it didn't match up with the people in the arena, so it just
Right.
made it look like a bigger production.
And some people get more rambunctious and rowdy if they're not seen on TV as well. If you're in the dark, you'll be louder and crazier because who cares what you're doing back there? No one will know it's you.
Your boss
Right.
isn't going to see you on TV acting like
Exactly.
an asshole.
Mhm. Right. Now you'll have everyone will be lit up and there'll probably be a nice quiet crowd.
Yep.
Be totally different.
Bad look.
There's going to have to be leaks of pictures soon because we're only 2 weeks away from it
Oh
being
yeah,
a
they
thing.
taped this week's show's taped when they taped it 2 weeks ago. So there's one more tape show because they're still redoing the whole thing. Kevin Dunn in charge of it, so you can only imagine what will happen. So I mean, besides the people going to work out and do all that, there's no events there until a week from Tuesday.
Right. And I don't see
And also-
anybody. I don't see anybody working there leaking it because that'll just be
Who knows? They might have it locked out so no one can get in there because it's 2 separate
Right.
areas now where they've got the workout section and now they're in quotes the arena part. So it's like 2 whole sections apart from each other. So if you're trying to get into the take pictures, probably someone's watching you.
Right. And having been in that building, like obviously you can find it on Google or whatever, but it's not the easiest place to get to.
I've been by it. It is not.
Okay. I don't know where it is. I couldn't tell you.
It's like in a obvious section, but like it just like everything looks the same. So it's just like if you make one wrong turn, then
There's no
You'll
big
never
flag
find
like
it.
when you go by Stanford and you see their offices, like a big WWE flag saying, "Hey, developmental center."
Way more hidden.
Yeah, I figured.
yeah, they have the WWE logo on the like door window, but
Sure.
that's about it.
If you're driving by on the street, you're not seeing it.
Yep.
It's
Right.
Gotcha.
yeah.
is there like parking and stuff there? Do they have enough
Yeah. Oh
Like-
yeah.
like
Probably in the back.
Yeah. I was gonna say because there's they put at least a couple hundred people in that on NXT. So I
The
mean,
best way I could describe it is that, like, if you've ever driven behind a grocery store and like to get out to like the road that you need to go to, and there's like a big stop and shop truck or something like that, and it looks like you're in the middle of nowhere. That's exactly the feel.
She has SmackDown now? Oh no.
This weekend, it's going to be a big weekend. AEW has obviously had big matches that have turned to not doing very well. Obviously, the exploding ring match comes to mind, among a couple other things. Does the CM Punk match fail this weekend?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
The only way it will is
'Cause
if he's got so much ring rust and he's the drizzle.
But even that, he's smart enough that like he's not going to go out there and do a bunch of crazy crap that he's not. You know what I mean? He knows what he's capable of.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some ring rust, maybe some timing, whatever. But I definitely think he knows how to work. You know what I mean? He's not.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Darby, he'll take some stupid bump. Everyone will think it's the greatest thing, and he'll win, and everybody, goes home happy.
Well, that's the biggest thing you were saying is his moveset. It's not like Juventud Guerrero coming in where he's a high flyer and he's, got to hit all these high flying moves. Punk doesn't do that. What his offensive moves are, he's been working out for the last couple of weeks now. And I guess him and Aleister Black have been working together the last week or so. I can assume that they'll probably go through this match a few times, knowing Punk, make sure he gets everything exactly down where he wants it.
That's Malachi Black, JR.
Well, I had to say it. Someone had to.
Do you think Punk Allen goes on last?
Oh yeah.
Yo,
No.
they've actually
I'm
said
convinced of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Because
I don't know
At
what
this
else would happen to go on last. I don't
Yeah.
think there's any other match that could beat it.
I mean, I
Well,
for the most part, you put your
Kenny.
right.
What's
I
that?
was gonna say you always put your world title on last.
Nope, they didn't
Well,
last pay-per-view either.
Christian Kenny, and then Bryan Danielson walks out.
So
You
he's
think
showing
he's-
up somehow. Where do
he
you
in
think
the-
he's going to come out?
Is he in the Casino Battle Royal?
It's women's battle royal.
It's
Women.
only women's
I thought
one
they
this
would-
time.
Well, I thought they were doing the guys one too.
Nope.
No, just
Nope, just
I
the
am-
women's.
Mhm.
I am dumber than Nia Jax.
So James Ellsworth or Santina Marella will make their appearance, but Daniel Bryan will not.
There's only a couple of open spots still, so I don't know who these open spots will be. I mean, one's probably Ruby.
Yeah.
But besides her, don't know yet.
Is it pretty obvious she's using Ruby Soho? I know that's her name,
Yes.
but she's using the song as well.
Yeah.
She put out a video 3 or 4 days ago, and that song's in the background of her video. So it's
And it's funny
It'll be
too.
nice to-
Oh, go ahead,
I was
Russ.
just gonna say it'll be nice to see if she comes out, because it will be a AEW debut of a woman that like people actually know.
Mhm.
The last couple of weeks, it's been like, oh, Kathy Smith is here. You know her, right? And it's like, what? Like,
That's actually a really good point, because so far all the people that they've brought over who've been released have been guys.
Yeah.
There
Right.
hasn't been that big female name, and Ruby's definitely probably the biggest one so far
For sure.
that they're going to bring over. I'm excited that she's going to get a chance. The one thing that these guys and girls now who are getting released from the WWE is you look at them, these are guys that never fully got the opportunity that maybe they deserved when they got to the main roster.
Right.
Aleister Black never got the opportunity. Rusev did, That's a different story, but a lot of these guys didn't. Ruby definitely didn't. She never got the due that she deserved. I actually thought she was probably the best worker on the roster on the female side for the longest time. And they never did anything with her. They never truly utilized her in the way that she should have. So I'm hoping to see. One thing I like about AEW, they don't just dangle the brass ring in front of you. They let you grab it. Yeah. See what you can do with it.
See, like as much as I loved her in WWE, like that was the thing. It's like, and I'm sure I feel like Shotzi Blackheart's going to be probably in the same boat. I mean, Vince, that's not the kind, like Vince doesn't get that. Like he doesn't. Like she's not blonde and has giant boobs, and I don't, he doesn't care. Like, maybe he'll switch to like a, he's got a redhead with giant boobs now. You know what I mean? Like it's just. But it's like it's always, but he just doesn't understand the crazy hair and the tattoos and the just that whole like section of like that whole lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that he just he doesn't understand it, so he's not going to get behind it. Whereas like people in AEW, they're what I mean, they're it's a younger audience. Mm-hmm. It's like like she. I mean, not saying she could be like the female Darby, but it's like that same gimmick presence. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's where it's the audience understands and will get behind her, and it's especially where that AEW audience also is more about like work rate than character and stuff like that. So I could definitely see that being a plus for Ruby when she hopefully debuts on Sunday. I'm 75% sure she's debuting on Sunday.
I'm at 85.
Wait a second.
I'm at 90.
Nice. Rick, to your point though, it's not just women that Vince feels that way about, because Punk had to fight for every little thing he got for the same reason. And even Triple H buried him after the pipe bomb thing, because he felt he didn't have the look of a champion, because he wasn't this white bread,
skinny fat ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, who cares? The man can go. And there's the same with Ruby. Who gives a crap that she wants to tattoo herself? She could go. Same like with Shotzi Blackheart. She's going to be pushed to the back because of her look, which is fine. There are places these people can go to now where they can thrive and they can excel, and you're going to have fans, not people like us, but your average fan are going to turn on a Wednesday night and see Ruby Soho. Now I'm JR. Just, looking incredible and amazing in the ring. And they're going to be like, why is she here? Why isn't she on Monday night? Mm-hmm. And they're not going to understand. Yep. And you're going to see that more and more, and people are going to start switching the TV. And I'm not saying that I don't want anyone to go out of business. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that AEW is ever going to take over WWE, because I don't think they're in that position nor in that desire. But I think that more and more people are going to be like, wait, Malachi Black, wasn't this Aleister Black? Wow, look at what he's doing. Yep. Why wasn't he doing this on Monday nights? I want to see this. Mm-hmm. People like Punk, people like Daniel Bryan. I hate the fact that the Big Show is wrestling Sunday night because he looked terrible the other night. But these are names that people know, and it's bringing eyes to the product, to these other guys who didn't get the opportunity that they deserved on the main roster. I'm excited to see what they do with it. And if they succeed, fantastic. And if these guys don't, hey, Vince was right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, that they'll give them the ball. They just have to run with it, and if they can run with it, great. If not, AEW they don't have a problem with starting over or axing a gimmick if it's not going as good as it is. They don't just completely dissolve it like WWE does, but they will acknowledge that it's not going to what it should be, and they'll write it off somehow.
At the beginning, they were given independent guys. Joey Janela. They were giving guys like him a chance. to run with that ball and see what they can do.
Right.
All right. There's a reason why you've been on the independents as long as you have. No one picked you up.
Right.
This is
When when. Oh, so no, I was gonna say when they gave him, Janelle the ball, it's like they were doing the live audience stuff. He's going through, jumping off ladders, going through tables for a couple weeks, and it's you can only do that so much.
Yep.
And then when he's got to work.
Intern.
Is that my dog?
Another
Maybe.
intern? Jeez.
It's just like when they're not doing stuff in front of crowds, he's not going to be jumping off of ladders and through tables, and he's got to actually kind of work. And now it's,
Right.
It's like, well, that's not, his strong point. You know what I mean? And that's like, they're just going to cycle through all these people pretty soon.
Yep. But then there's a lot of guys who were no names going into what AEW did who have created themselves. Jungle Boy, for instance. I mean, the crowd is always so hyped when he comes out. They're going with the music, and that's huge. Hangman Page created something there. There's a bunch of these people who actually took that football and they ran with it and they were successful with it. Now you've got these quote unquote WWE guys bringing eyes to the product.
Yeah.
That's only going to enhance these guys even
Right.
more.
Mhm.
2, 3, 4 years down the road, these are the ones that are going to be main eventing pay-per-views. MJF is another one who did this on his own. There's just so much talent. If you look at the actual talent, it's unbelievable what they're doing, and I'm just so excited. I don't think I've been this excited for a pay-per-view in a long time. I'm spending money on cable.
Wow.
That should tell everybody something there.
I mean, to your point,
Miracles happen. Miracles happen.
and to your point there, where they're building up new people. Look at 2.0 and Daniel Garcia come in. They put him right up there against,
the fact that they put 2.0 as the first people to touch Punk.
Mhm.
Huge rub for them.
It's crazy. It's you're 3 weeks ago they were on NXT getting beat up by Hit Row, and
Right.
now they're beating up CM Punk.
Mhm.
The first people, they took the first go to sleep from Punk in 7 years. It's
Yep.
Which
and
looked like
I don't even
first
think
go to sleep in 7
Yes,
years.
it did.
Yeah.
Right.
but it's
I mean,
like I don't think is Garcia signed.
Yeah,
I
he's
know
signed now.
2.0
He is
did
signed
sign.
now. Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Khan said it, I think last week, that he is a 6-month deal for now, because Garcia didn't want to sign like a longer term one, but I'm sure it'll probably wind up being longer term eventually.
I mean, but that's already paying off too. He's already working that like the New Japan shows and
Yep. Mhm.
so
Right.
I mean,
I know you're working with Moxley and Darby Allin and Kingston. They're right up against the top guys right away. I mean, if you look at it, all the veterans that they brought in are working with some of their better young guys, except for QT and Big Show. But we can just not worry about that.
Right.
No
It's
one
nice to
cares.
see that Billy Gunn and Paul White renewed their rivalry from about 17 years ago. That was good to see.
Yeah, I guess you got to do something.
because when I was watching that segment, I'm like, why is this so awkward? And then like when Billy Gunn hit him, and I just was like,
Mhm.
oh, we got to do this. It was just like I was like, no. But I mean, I guess if you're gonna have the Big Show wrestle, it's good to just make him smash QT instead of
Yeah, if that match lasts more than 2 or 3 minutes, you'd be shocked.
He could barely move the other night.
He's got the hip and the knees. He can barely get in the ring. It's awful.
I was gonna say, it's gonna be Big Show's greatest hits. 3 minutes, call it a day. You know what I mean? Like, give him his flowers, let him sit.
I can see all the guys with QT's group come out and try to beat him up before he even gets in the ring.
Yeah.
Let him have his match with Shaq down the road as a finger to Vince, because Vince wouldn't let him do it.
Drop the ball on that, yeah.
Yeah, give him don't do it on pay-per-view. Do that match on TV. Just get rid of it.
Well, they'll do it opening week of the NBA.
Oh yes. you know what? No, it won't be opening week. They'll set it up opening week when Paul White shows up.
Come on, JR.
But when he shows up at the desk during the pregame show for the NBA.
Yeah.
And they set up.
Well, maybe wherever the NBA All-Star game
I would
is.
say you tax him at the All-Star game.
AEW.
Oh, White should show up on
AEW will be
the
in
studio.
Yep.
Well, they have a couple Saturday Dynamites coming up in October. Why not put them on as a headline on one of those two?
He chokeslams him through the desk next to Charles Barkley. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Charles Barkley just gets up, starts crotch chopping him because he's been wanting to do that for years.
Oh, yeah.
Kicks him a couple of times.
Let Barkley be the ref. He's wanted to do it so badly. Like Barkley calling NHL games.
I'd watch all of that.
Oh, he is. He's guaranteed he is doing it because he's such a hockey fan.
Is he legit going to do that?
Yep.
That's awesome.
He's
Awesome.
gone on the air during the NBA playoffs before and ripped them, saying that the NHL playoffs are so much better. He wishes he could cover their game sometimes.
He's not
And
wrong.
He said, well, since they're on TNT, I'm going to be on a couple of the games doing commentary this year.
That's
Are they going to
awesome.
tell him no?
I can't wait to hear him pronounce Russian names.
That dude over there. Oh, yeah, he'll do it.
Oh,
That'll be amazing.
That's going to be fun.
I can't wait for this. Charles Barkley pronouncing Russian names. Let's make it happen. He's not going to get any of them right.
They've never.
So I was going to say, I'm going to bring it back to wrestling for a
Sure,
second.
that's fine.
Oh, I mean, why would we do that?
It's not like that's what we're supposed
How
to
dare
do.
you?
That's crazy talk.
How dare you?
So once again, they have 10 matches on this card Sunday.
Yeah. Maybe 11.
Damn.
But yeah, I was going to say possibly 11 with the Andrade
Yep.
Open Challenge, if that's a real thing. Is that where Brian comes out?
Who knows?
But I
Hard
feel
to
like
say.
I feel like you have to have Brian win that, and I just don't.
If he's ripping Khan and telling him to give him a match, why wouldn't Tony give him a big match? You know,
Right.
you bring out who? Joey Janela? What's that going to do you?
Oh, poor Joey.
What if Flair brought out Daniel Bryan?
He's in Chicago. Flair was at the meet
That
and
could be
greets
cool.
today, just hanging out with Andrade.
He's
That
just
could be
hanging
cool.
out like a
He was
sweet
just hanging
old
out.
man.
He's not scheduled
Like a
to be there.
sweet
He's
old
not
man.
getting paid. He's just there.
You know he's texting. He's texting Charlotte like, Jesus Christ, your dad won't leave me alone.
He's probably taking pictures.
Hey, champ, what are we doing today,
Look
champ?
where he is now. He's over hanging out with Archer.
Well, having Rick as your wingman isn't going to help Charlotte.
No.
Keeping him away from the ladies
No, not at all.
because Rick's going to be like, whatever. I'll tell my daughter something else.
Yeah.
Just have at it. Let me have next.
Jesus.
Because you're saying
Don't
10 or
take
11
them on the
matches,
train.
we're
Don't take
definitely
them on the
going at
train.
least 4 hours.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going more than 4.
And
At least
what,
till-
is that including the pre-show match or?
Yeah, it's yep. So the pre-show match is the best friends in the Jurassic Express versus the Hardy Family Office.
Right.
I would have loved to have seen Jungle Boy get an actual match on the show and not the pre-show and his own match.
Sure.
I'm very much looking forward to Luchasaurus turning on him soon.
I feel
Why,
like this.
Luchasaurus, why?
I mean, I'm happy that they're realizing that Marco Stunt is not
It's there.
they're just. I'm glad he's not in the match. You know what I mean?
He is in the match, isn't he?
No, he's a mascot.
It's
He's
a 12-man. Who's their sixth partner?
He doesn't
it's
even get a gimmick anymore.
it's Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Wheeler Yuta and versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
But
And
they said
then
it was a 12-man tag match. They have to have another partner. That's only 5.
I'm reading 10 man right here.
Yeah, I thought it
Really?
was 10,
So
yeah.
they changed it because they said 12 man at the end of Dynamite.
Oh,
They said it
really?
was a 12-man match. They
Could-
change things at times, which it could be. I don't know. That's what they had said.
Because the Hardy family one is it's Matt Hardy, Private Party, and TH2.
Oh, because they announced the Blade was part of that as well.
I did. I saw that on the graphic on
Okay.
Wednesday. Yeah,
They must have changed it then.
yeah, because they were like, we don't need Marco Stunt in this match, so that's exactly what that
Well,
was.
it must have because it was originally set for that night as a 12-man.
Right.
I am going to
Hmm.
agree with my buddy John. Hi, John. That you've got Orange Cassidy and Jungle Boy, both of whom had great matches with the AEW champion, and they're both relegated to a 10-man tag on the pre-show.
Well, before then, they weren't even on the show, period.
I was gonna say, yeah,
That
they-
was just added at the last second. So
Right.
that they weren't even going to be on the show.
Those are two guys that need to be on the main show. That's
Mhm.
one gripe that I have. Maybe not have Paul White out there, and you could have these two guys out there doing something.
I
instead.
agree.
Sure.
Yep.
I agree
More
with that.
more Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
Definitely more Jungle Boy.
Mhm.
I mean, Orange Cassidy's good. I mean, like I don't think he's stale quite yet, but I feel like he could. You know what I mean? Like
He's over.
he's extremely over, but I just don't like. I don't want them to like push him, not push him too hard, but
Overdo it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want
Because
to.
he's over. He could easily have been, no way Jose.
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
but he figured out something to get over that threshold. But they could drop him into, no way Jose land if they don't treat it right.
I'm. It's funny you went with No Way Jose. I was thinking Adam Rose. But same
I
deal.
loved Adam Rose.
I always thought they should have called.
They killed him.
Yeah.
They
Almost
should have.
literally.
I always thought they should have called No Way Jose's. How he had the people around the ring with him. They should have called them Hose Buds. They missed a huge opportunity with that.
Well, I guess when he showed
That's
up at
funny.
Impact, he didn't have anybody with him. He was doing the dance by himself. Makes sense.
That's fine.
Impact-
That's kind of funny if they
Impact-
leaned into that a little more. They leaned into that a little more. That'd be, and I'm not saying like I like No Way Jose like when he first started and stuff like that. It was like the Adam Rose thing. Adam Rose, I forgot about him. He was great. He was great, and they ruined it.
And once again, when they were in NXT, they both were doing great stuff. They came up to the main roster, and it was a flash in the pan. It lasted a couple of weeks, and then basically you're thrown out.
Because they were looked at as comedy gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
He was over as hell, man. Adam Rose, like
Oh,
that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
My buddy actually we had that song play at his wedding, and all of us assholes were doing the Adam Rose thing throughout the dance floor, and there's family of his and non-wrestling people there that are just looking at us like, what the heck are these guys doing? But even during his bachelor party, we're running through Foxwoods, doing the Adam Rose gimmick and all that. I mean, that's when he was huge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then just
Well, it all started going downhill when they had to change the original song, and then one piece after another, and he was even cool as Leo Kruger,
yeah, that was a good
and
gimmick.
then they just
Mm-hmm.
and now I don't know if you've seen him, but now he's just like
He's jacked.
jacked, like
Mhm.
completely different.
Yeah.
And he damn near died from the drugs after that.
I thought he was dead, but
Almost.
wasn't someone close to him? Didn't they just pass away or something? Or like he had like so I could have swore like someone either him or someone close to him passed
His
away.
He's
son-
alive
That's what-
as far as I
son-
know.
His son had an issue with his stomach or something like that. I don't know
Oh, I
if his
see.
son is still alive or not,
I don't
but
know.
it was definitely his son
Oh.
that was having problems.
I also didn't realize that he's in his 40s.
Yep.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
looks incredible.
42.
Yep.
So do you think any titles are changing hands this Sunday?
I certainly hope at least one does.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if
Which
one.
If
one?
they don't change one title, they lose something there.
Boy, do I wish the TNT title changes.
I
Rick,
would
know you're
love
with
that.
me on that.
I have
I
a
would-
feeling it's
I
going to
would
change.
lose
but
my
it's,
mind.
It's going to be in 2 weeks after that.
At the Arthur Ashe
Yep.
show.
I think
what
that's
I was
where
thinking.
Kingston's
Yeah.
winning it.
That would be awesome.
I think the Lucha Brothers should beat the Young Bucks. I don't know if it's going to happen because the Bucks are just right now. I'm bored of them.
Yeah, I love the
They're
gimmick.
beating
though.
everybody. They're always cheating and all that. I understand their heels and all that, but it's like it's worn thin with them
Right.
with the titles and everything.
They don't
They
need
need
the
to
titles.
change something
I
up
mean,
with
I
them right now. It's getting
Right.
old.
I kind of feel like that's the whole reason for the cage. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's classic,
Right.
booking right there. It's like
Mhm.
the heels always win because of stupid outside interference.
right.
You have the cage so no one comes in. So it's like it. I almost feel like if you don't switch the belts there, it makes your faces the Lucha Brothers. It's like, all right, well, you still can't beat them.
Yeah, you get all
And then-
this and you still can't do it, right?
And then on the other side, it's like, then if you could beat these guys in a steel cage, why do you need all this running around?
Yep.
So it just,
That's what I'm saying. If they don't do it, it's kind of like, what's the point to the match?
as much as I love Statlander, I don't see her beating
No.
Baker.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No,
Not yet.
I love how they're using
too early
Baker.
for her to lose the belt.
I love how they're using Baker to tease Adam Cole,
Mhm.
That was good.
but not really mentioning it. I mean, it's been a couple of times in
Right.
a row now that she's got like a big surprise she needs to announce.
He's just going to show up randomly, just out of the blue. Like, he's just going to be
Yeah,
in the
and
back
then
or
he's
something.
gonna
You know what?
like walk by her, and he's gonna be like, "Who are you?"
No, you know what?
Like-
You know what I want to see happen? I want to see her like go through a table, and then they pan out to the crowd, and they
Oh,
see
he's-
Adam,
Oh, that would
they do the Adam Cole.
that
Like,
would be amazing. That would be amazing.
that's what I want to see. That's what I
That
want.
would be the way to do it. That's good. I didn't think about that, but that'd be
That would
smart.
be
That'd be
unreal.
amazing.
I mean, I know.
Who's that in the
That'd
crowd?
be incredible. Because they could
It's
have
Isn't
him
he
in
dead,
the crowd.
boyfriend.
No, isn't he dead?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
Elite killed him. So they'll be like, wait a minute, he's dead. How is he in the crowd?
Because they could have him in the crowd with a
Excalibur will
mask
say that, and
on.
then JR will go, what do you mean he's dead? Oh, JR.
The only oh no, wait. I was gonna say who, but no, never mind. I had my being the Elite storylines mixed up for a second because I was thinking about when they killed Joey Ryan,
Oh. Mhm.
but for some reason I had it in my head that Joey Ryan killed Adam Cole, but that's not anywhere near what it was.
No, right. Go ahead, Russ.
No, I was just gonna say that they could totally have him come out and have a mask on, have his hair in a bun or something like that, and then right when that spot would be done, they could just take it all off, have a camera in front, and do it. And that would be awesome. That's a great idea.
It is. It's really good.
That we'll never see. That we'll never see happen, but it's a great idea.
See, that's why Rick needs a book.
Right? Tony Khan, call me. I'm gonna fire Joey Janela so fast though. Sorry.
And then Fuego del Sol.
And then Sonny Kiss and Jack Evans
Marco Stunt.
and it's Marco Stunt.
The list goes on.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of releases.
You could call me Rick Khan, firing everyone.
Uh,
GCW's roster is about to get this big.
Can you fire whoever does their backstage segments? It's the one thing AEW does that is god awful. None of them are good.
Oh God.
some of them are supposed to be awful, but you're right. Most of them are pretty bad.
They had the one with Thunder Rosa the other night that
That was bad.
my ass
Oh,
that was so uncomfortable.
Well, what's the guy's name? Lee Marsh, whatever. He's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
worst.
God,
Why can't I think of his name? Not Alex Abrahantes.
no, it's
He's so bad. Like
Alex
Alex
the
Marvez.
first-
Marvez.
yeah,
He
he's
did the
so
first
bad.
pay-per-view or the first show of theirs, and he was so bad on commentary they kicked him into the back.
Oh my god! Like, he must have like naked pictures of somebody.
No, what is he? He's like
Because
Cody's
he is-
buddy or something,
He
right?
works for NFL
God,
Network
he's so bad.
and NFL Radio,
Oh,
and
so
he's got tons and tons of, he knows a lot of people with buildings, so he can help them get into a bunch of buildings. That's why he's still there.
I know people with
Ah.
He
buildings
knows
too.
a lot of people that knows a lot of people that knows a lot of people, basically. It's true
He's
though.
the worst.
The guy that used to run the WWE live events, he got him hired. So he's helping run the buildings now. So
I guess,
Marvez has a role. He should not be on TV at all. He's so bad, but
nepotism at its finest.
he's got a reason to be there,
Mm.
but just they need to take the mic off him. He could just be back there and they can just beat him up at times or something. As Russ was mentioning, how do you think Bryan Danielson will debut? Because according to all reports they're moving it up to All Out now. And he's going to debut on Sunday.
I think it's the Andrade thing. If that's legit, I think that's what you do.
Makes sense. Before that, I wasn't sure how they would do it, but now that Andrade keeps going out there saying, give me somebody, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And he loses. Oh, there's a reason why I lost. I wasn't ready for him. How could you be ready for him? You know, it's a built-in excuse there. While Pac, I guess he's having some sort of health issue. And that's why he's off.
Oh, really?
It's
Again?
not travel-wise. It's some sort of health problem. I guess something happened. The doctors checked him out and they wouldn't pass him. He's in
Elevated liver enzymes.
I don't know. He's in the US.
That is very specific.
Oh, no, what was it? There was like some some pay-per-view
Dr. Rick.
there was some pay-per-view
He's
for the
booking and he's the
WWE,
doctor.
right? From everything. No, I just remember that there was one pay-per-view where like 4 or 5 wrestlers weren't able to
Mhm.
work on the pay-per-view, and every single one of them was elevated liver enzymes. So it's just one of those things like, oh, it's kind of like the whole
Future
Brock
endeavor.
Lesnar thing. Yeah, you just kind of you're not feeling good. You got like diverticulitis or something? It's just one of those things I always remembered.
Well,
Yeah, some elevated
Chicago's,
liver enzymes?
I guess Chicago or Illinois in general is one of those towns where you have to get a physical every 3 months by one of their doctors to wrestle in.
Oh, okay.
St. Louis, you have to have a professional license, which most places you don't have to anymore.
That's why they don't really run St. Louis,
And
right?
all the NWA guys did, but I guess they had to go back. A couple guys like the Pope had to go back 2 or 3 times to get finally approved to wrestle because I don't know what's up with them, but he had all sorts of issues. But same thing with New York. They do everything. And if you have high blood pressure in New York, you can't work. The Dudleys got canned out of there a few times because I guess Bubba has high blood pressure. And when they were working, he couldn't work shows there. They had to take him off of a few of them.
Any of these places ding you for high cholesterol? Because that's our
New York
chance of
might-
getting Nia off any card.
New York might.
Oh,
If
my
anywhere does,
goodness.
New York's real specific on everything. I know, like Massachusetts has no rules.
She's
You
just in the,
you could be like dead and they'd let you work. They don't care.
Nia's just in the corner eating a whole pig live, uncooked.
Pretty much. There's no rules. That's why they did the mass transit thing. Nothing really happened.
The was it? I know New Hampshire. They still give out wrestler
Yep.
licenses
New
in
Hampshire,
New Hampshire.
you need a license to work
Yeah,
up
but-
there.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I think there's like 6 or 7 states where you still need a license.
it's weird.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
weird.
It's real to me, damn it.
Yeah, I mean AEW's, as I told you about the Full Gear, where they have the UFC pay-per-view up against it in a boxing match. When they all go up there, they're going to all have to get their license. I don't know how it works exactly, but if you're overseas and all that, I mean, I'm sure AEW's got plenty of money to figure it out, but that's why a lot of local independent guys don't work Missouri. They don't want to have to get a license. I think it's like a couple $100. It's not cheap.
Yeah, when you're in the independents and you're making if you're lucky,
Less than that,
$50
probably.
a
Right.
show.
Right.
$250 a year for a license is kind of a lot.
Unless Bob Evans is taking the gate and only handing it to his friends, and the rest of us aren't getting paid at all.
Or paying the facility either.
Yeah. You know,
Oh, is there any other way you think Bryan Danielson would come out?
I was just looking at the matches. I feel like there's not.
Say the Andrade thing doesn't actually happen.
I'm just trying to see on just on paper where he would possibly fit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he could cost CM Punk the match
See, I
if
don't
they
know if they
wanted
would just,
Darby to win.
but then I just feel like they would
CM
like
Punk
step
is-
on.
sorry.
No, I was gonna say I feel like they'd step on Punk's return
Yeah.
with the I mean I know it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Brian's coming there at some point,
Mm-hmm.
but I just feel like you shouldn't put them together just yet.
I wouldn't.
Punk's also said he doesn't want to work with people he's already worked with. Like he said that on Renee Paquette's podcast that he wouldn't even work with Mox because he's worked with him previously. He wants to do this with new people, young people, something he hasn't done before. So I can't see him getting back in there with him.
And then today during one of his little things, he said he'd work with Danielson again because he'd love to.
Oh, well, all right.
So
well,
I don't think he wants to go back to people he's fought right now. Like
pardon me. Well,
just with what's going on now, I think he wants to work with all the new people because that's what gets him, ready to go and all that. I don't think you'd see him work with Danielson or anyone else for a while.
Right.
Down the road, possibly, sure. There's only so many matchups until you have to come across something like that.
So I'm looking at the card, and I'm just assuming. I mean, who knows how they're going to bring him in? But there's only
Britt Baker goes through a table, and then Daniel Bryan goes like this,
hopefully,
and he's
Brie
sitting
Bella
next to,
does.
and then he's sitting next to Macaulay Culkin, and Macaulay Culkin does this.
Oh, geez.
so. I was just gonna say I'm assuming that he's gonna
And
debut
then now,
after some kind of a singles match. You know what I mean? Like, someone wins and his music plays. So if there's really one, and I don't see it happening first. Punk versus Darby. So there's
I don't think so.
there's the Omega Christian match. There's the Miro Eddie Kingston match. There's Jericho MJF, Paul White versus QT Marshall, and Moxley versus Kojima. So like, where would you put? I mean, obviously
So
Moxley's
how about-
winning.
Yeah. But
how
the
about
way
he comes out?
Go ahead.
How about he comes out during the Jericho MJF match, costs Jericho the victory, and then like later, Tony Khan is like, you can't retire this way, and then Jericho comes back, and then he's in, and Daniel Bryan I think is going to be a heel when he eventually shows up.
See, I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Same thing. I think it's not the same as like CM Punk. You know what I mean? Where it's like, we've missed you for 7 years. I feel like Daniel Bryan is we're going to welcome you with open arms because you left the big bad WWE and came here, and we appreciate you because you're the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Like, I kind of feel like that's that.
But then if he helped MJF, then that would then take everything. He could be like, I left, a place in New York because guys like you were holding everything down, and now you're holding everything down in AEW. Screw you, MJF is. I'm the yes man to MJF.
You could do it that way because like you could still have him. It's I guess it's kind of along the lines of Hogan joining the NWO. You can have Bryan come out, he gets the pop. Everybody's going. Boom! He costs Jericho the match somehow, and I could see that. That would be kind of cool.
Do they have any history from the WWE? I can't recall right now, because I know
I
they
don't
love to
think
bring
so.
stuff up like that.
Right. I'm not too sure. I don't
can't
really
recall anything.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, other than they wrestled each other that one time when Danielson was on NXT.
Right.
That was that, that I think that was.
I think they really had a lot of contact with each other, and
Yeah.
I don't believe so. Because I know they love to bring up backgrounds, with each guy, and there's a reason for it, and this and that. But I don't think that outside of, I don't know. It'd be nice for him to come in as a heel because they have so many babies right now.
Right. What's
almost everybody.
Rampage is live tonight, right?
It's live. Yep.
So, do you think anyone else shows up tonight? There's all those.
I don't think so. They'll save it for Sunday.
Like there's all the Iconics, Buddy Murphy, all those people's 90 days are finally
They're
up.
all up. Yeah.
So, I mean, did you? It's like, do you bring anybody else in, or is it? Do you think just bringing in that many people that quick is just too much?
You
but
almost waste having so many people come in all together.
Right.
You
like
should
when you bring in that
out.
many people, right?
Like somebody should debut at the Arthur Ashe show, since they're making it like a huge show, like almost like a pay-per-view-ish type show. Like you should leave somebody to come out there. That could be where Adam Cole shows up. I mean,
when did Bray? I was gonna say because Cole. Yes, I was gonna say Cole's already right. He can just show up at any time.
His contract is free as of last Friday, all done, so he can go up. There's no 30-day clause or anything like that.
And then, how long does Bray have? Is Bray's contract?
I believe his is. I was going to say
yeah.
October-ish. Yeah.
Is it October 1st?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's. I mean, I guess you could.
When is Halloween? Is Halloween during a
October
Rampage
31st.
Oh, thank you.
Is that softball?
Wait, this year it's October 31st, because usually it isn't.
I thought it was on Friday the 13th this year, but it's not.
I know. Usually
Halloween,
you'd think
Halloween is on a Sunday.
That's what I was going to say. It's on.
If that's what you were asking.
I think that's where he was going.
Yeah.
But the 29th is close enough.
True.
I mean, if the Iconics come in and you got, why throw them into that Battle Royal? Because they have 3 open spots right now, apparently.
That's not their name anymore.
I don't even know what it's called anymore.
It's the Inspiration.
The Inspiration, yes.
With 2 eyes.
Which
yes,
is
right, because they like the 2 eyes.
Yeah.
I know Cassie Lee's been hanging out backstage and in all the Dynamites and Rampages the last few weeks. Not that means a whole lot.
I just saw that they posted a picture on Instagram of both of them wearing assless chaps, and I was like,
"Oh wow, nice!"
I was there for that.
It was lovely. It's quite lovely.
It was inspirational.
As you were saying, just having say 4 or 5 debuts all out would just be too many. I think.
Yeah, does it just muddy up the water? You know what I mean? Like,
would, yeah. I mean, if you have Ruby in the Battle Royal and Bryan Danielson showing up, that's fine. But if you bring in Adam Cole in at the same, it's just a lot of moving parts.
See, that's the thing with Adam Cole too. It's almost like it's not a good time for him to come in, but it's also like a fantastic time for him to come in. Just, you know what I mean? Like the fact that he was literally just on their TV.
Yep. Right.
Like a week ago.
I mean, you don't want to wait too long if you want to capitalize on it, but you don't want to just throw him out there.
Right.
One thing he needs, Adam Cole, is an awesome song, because they have to incorporate the boom and the Adam Cole baby.
I can't remember what he used to in Ring of Honor and his Independence. I don't recall what his theme was at the moment.
All right, I just had an idea, and it's not going to happen. But
go ahead, you're the booker now.
I just popped myself on this
75%. It's not going to happen, or
this definitely isn't going to happen. But you have Danielson come out in gear, right? I'm here in AEW. You know, I want an opponent. Adam Cole comes out at the same time. Just both debut right there. Boom.
There you go.
Blow everybody's mind. Everybody's mind.
When this obviously can't be Sunday.
Or they both
'cause-
come out at the same time and they're just like, God damn it, I was supposed to debut now. And
Oh, yeah,
you
Well,
come out-
they have the two entrances.
Andrade, that would be funny too if Andrade was in the ring asking for the open challenge and they
Uh-huh.
both come out of like, God damn it.
You hear two musics playing on top of each other.
Adam Cole's
That
got
would be
30 days
hilarious.
though,
Then
right?
it's a fierce game of rock, paper, scissors.
What was that, Tom?
Adam Cole's got 30 days, right?
No.
No,
Adam
When
Cole's-
he
he's
signed
ready
when he
to go.
signed that extension to stay through Takeover, it wiped everything away. He just had to stay there till the end of the week.
So he could legit be there Sunday.
Yep. His
Yeah.
contract was
Yep.
it was over as of midnight on last Friday, so he's been a free agent for a whole week now.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. Like you
That would be
like
be
I said,
awesome.
you don't
That's
you
the
don't
only way
want to
you could.
debut him,
Mhm.
but it's almost like why wouldn't you? He's literally
Yeah,
just off TV. It's kind of
Right.
like
it's been a
the
week
Aleister
he's been
Black
off.
thing.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we didn't expect that, and then boom, he just shows up.
Yeah,
So I mean,
and you could put the two of them if they're coming out there together. It's almost a built-in feud right there. There you go. Just let them run off with each other.
right? You could, and it's why
You need to
Adam
find-
Cole?
You need
Why
to
did
find
you
Tony
attack
Khan's
Danielson?
phone number and give him some hints.
Right.
Here.
Well, because you think about it, like you
Yeah.
could have Adam Cole come out and be like, well, he stole my spotlight. I'm the hottest free agent. I was supposed to be here, and then he comes out and ruins everything,
Yep.
and then you just
That's true.
have them fight for a couple months.
Hmm.
That'd be cool.
Tony Khan, call me up.
Nick Khan, call me up.
Anybody call me up. Scott Demore.
Old Town Buffet, call me up. What about Raka Khan?
Shaka Khan.
Shaka
She-
Khan?
No, Raka Khan. What was it? That's the one that had a restraining order on Kurt Angle.
Right.
Oh, geez.
Or Rika
Shadow
Khan, however you say
from,
your name.
She
Star
don't
Wars.
have to. She can't. She doesn't need to call me up. It's fine.
She can call up Bob Evans.
Or the Wrath of Khan.
Oh,
So I'm trying to think what else happened this week. I mean, I don't want to end the show on a bad note. I don't know if
No,
we're close
no.
to wrapping up,
Yeah,
but
no.
I was just to
no,
say,
But
the
the Daffney
unfortunately,
stuff.
yeah, there's the unfortunate passing of Daffney.
right.
That was it's just terrible that just I was just real sad.
It is.
Especially if you saw the video. It's just
I saw
obviously
some of
she was going through some real hard crap,
Mhm.
and it's like it's real sad too. And I think like one of the things that like I just think is awful. It's like we had the thing with Michael Elgin a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
making all the
Mhm.
and everyone's just like, oh, it's whatever, it's Michael,
Right.
but it's like then you have and it's just like this, and then you have Daffney on Instagram, and then she actually does something.
Yeah.
It's just what I mean, like to use that as a way to get sympathy, like Michael Elgin did. That's just it's a piece.
Totally.
I said in our chat, 9 out of 10 people who do this aren't ever going to tell you about it. They're just
Mhm.
going to do it.
Yeah.
People like Michael Elgin want attention. I don't know if he wasn't held enough as a child. I don't know what his issue is, but people
don't
like
know.
him, they want it for attention. They want somebody to go, oh, woe is me. Are you okay, Michael?
Hmm.
And the difference between what he did and what Daffney did, if you watch Daphne's video, it was
Yeah.
Right, and she knew. She's just like, there's something wrong, and that's
Especially what
You
you
know.
said at the end there.
right. It's like that, take my brain goes to Boston. It's kind of like I mean, I don't exactly know what happened. I don't want to speculate, but even in the video, she said that she's not gonna cause harm to her brain because that needs to be looked at. It's the same as the Junior Seau.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The name I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's awful. It's terrible
Yeah,
that it's
totally.
just that there's not like
It's almost exactly the same as Junior Seau, like, possibly.
right. And that's exactly why he left the note. He shot himself
Right.
in the chest so his brain could be studied.
Right.
And
it's just
in Junior Seau's death, unfortunately, in his death, a lot of what has been studied on his brain has gone to the knowledge that we now have of CTE.
Mhm.
And a lot of these people who do say, please take my brain, examine it, things like that. We're learning more and more about it. We're not where we need to be by any stretch of the imagination.
Sure.
Chris Nowinski is not applauded like he should
Mhm.
for what he's been doing over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
For brain injury discovery and all of that. I mean, he is doing amazing work with all of this. We're not where we need to be. The fact that someone like Daffney feels that she needed to kill herself in order to help as we go. We shouldn't still be at that point, but the only light at the end of the tunnel here, and the only bright side of it is that with Junior Seau, there was some good that came out of that is continuing to come out of that. We're revolutionizing how certain helmets are made. We're revolutionizing how, we have a better understanding of brain injuries, and it's not just, complete concussions. It could be something as simple as I just bump my head on the back of the wall here. There's many different things that we're learning now. So it's sad as hell, but there's also some positive that does come out of it. So it's not like someone just doing it for the sake of doing it. There's actually some good that comes out of it in some ways.
Yeah, it's just
Totally.
it's just kind of sad to especially, I mean, and I know it's kind of like the whole thing with, suicide. It comes out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, I talked to them yesterday and they seemed okay. And it just, it's like I was going to say, you follow these people on social media and it's like, oh, she's posting stuff about having a great old time and all this stuff. And it's just, then you just, then she posted a video on Instagram and she's gone. And it's just,
she moved into a new house 2 weeks ago, and everyone says how excited and happy she was. She just moved into a new place 2 weeks ago. You just
so it's just
how it changes,
right? And it's like, and I know she also suffered from being bipolar. So it's like, was that just the bipolar with she also had post concussion syndrome and it's just everything just.
And that
was it finally just too much or? Yeah, it's just it's a damn shame. It's you just like especially when you just like go on social media and you just see the all like the positive impact she had on everybody and and it's just the fact that she said in her video she's all alone. It's like, I mean, I don't know her personally. I don't know if that was actually the case, like, but it just seemed like the outpouring she had on social media was a pretty positive. She impacted a lot of people's lives. I mean, I understand that, unfortunately when people pass, that's when everybody says a nice thing about you.
Sure.
But I mean, she, I was reading an article today. She had, she did a match with this girl that she trained for like 5 years and just couldn't, like, I don't know if she just couldn't get the grasp of it or just, but she trained for 5 years. They didn't want this girl to work a match. She just wanted to work one match, and Daffney went out there and did like 8 minutes with her, put her over. You know what I mean? And that was it. But it was just, stuff like that. Like I've been just reading stories about, her doing just all types of just, incredible things. And it's just too bad when, someone that good just doesn't feel like they're enough for anybody. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Well, if we want to, change the subject and end on a different note.
Yeah. I just felt like we needed to bring that up.
I 100% agree.
Absolutely.
That had to be talked about.
Absolutely.
And hopefully
Absolutely.
we're getting closer and closer where people don't have to die to figure out what's wrong, and we can diagnose CTE and treat it while the people are still around.
Correct.
And I think we're getting closer
100%.
and closer. We're not there yet, though.
Right.
Absolutely. And then to steer the ship completely away, what do we
Nia
think?
Jax couldn't steer anything.
What do we think of recently injured The Miz doing Dancing with the Stars?
I mean, was he really injured, or was that a storyline thing? Because from what I
he had a knee injury. I don't know how severe it was.
I think he actually got
because he was in the wheelchair, but then he did the celebrity softball game at the All-Star game this year.
He didn't play.
He didn't play.
Oh, he didn't?
He was the manager.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right.
He had a knee brace on.
He was hurt, but it had to the severity of what the injury was. I don't know.
Right.
He was.
I think it was like a MVP thing where like that he could have done surgery, but like rehab worked.
Yep.
I mean, as far as Dancing with the Stars goes, it's it is what it is. There's been a few WWE
Jericho,
right? Jericho, one of the Bellas.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Stacy Keibler, I think.
I mean, the WWE will love it just to get the publicity out of it.
Oh, absolutely. But also, it just gives the Miz one more thing. You know what I mean? Like he'll do anything at this point.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? He's just like so much a company man. It's not even funny, and but he likes it. You know what I mean? He's always out doing stuff. So I'm sure he'll be on it for a few weeks. I'm sure he's not going to win it, but I'll give him 2 weeks. I think he'll last longer than Jericho.
I think that's also
75% chance he loses.
He could do a thing too, where since he's broken up with Morrison, in a couple weeks when we have the draft, since Dancing with the Stars is on Mondays, maybe he could be like, "Bring me to SmackDown," because or remain on Dancing with the Stars and being like, "I'm not showing up to Raw because I'm now this Dancing with the Stars person," kind of thing.
See, I don't think he'll be on TV.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be on until he's out.
I just think he'll just be doing that. Because I mean, from what I understand, those people train hours and upon hours, so it's just
in a week, yeah,
right. So I mean, I could just see him, right, and that would kind of suck too. Like I'm sure NBC, ABC, or whatever station it is wouldn't want him getting hurt in the ring. If
a third network to control what they're doing.
Yeah. WWE has no control.
Disney.
Yeah,
ABC
Disney.
Disney
Ding, ding, ding. Because when Jericho did it, he didn't work at all, I don't believe.
No, I don't. I think he said
it was just,
I think he was out of the business at that time.
Was he out of it?
I think so.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken,
he left
he was on his break or something.
Yeah. I think that's what it was.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I think Nikki Bella was pretty much done with WWE as well at the time when she was on.
Mm-hmm.
He's dumb, huh?
Who? Miz?
No, Nikki Bella.
Oh, Nikki. I thought you said he's dumb.
No, she.
I've seen dumber.
Thank you for listening to Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brian. Catch us on Twitter and Facebook. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Till next time.